Aquarius, welcome back to the channel, loves. So keep in mind that these are going to be general readings, so take what resonates, leave the rest. Energy can play out differently depending on your personal situation and also the different elements that's in your specific birth chart. So at certain times in the reading, you may find that I may be either picking up you on your energy, another person's energy, their thoughts, emotions, intentions, or the current state surrounding the connection or whatever dynamic that I'm describing, okay? So at the end of this reading, you'll notice that I will do a timeline prediction when it comes through in the cards. So remember that energy is always shifting. We have free will that plays a major role. And, personal readings, intuitive mentorship, sessions can also provide some deeper insight into your specific situation. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. So Aquarius, the question is, will there be contact again? So right now, what I'm seeing right away, this spread feels emotionally unfinished. Not emotionally disconnected, but notice how I said unfinished. So I feel like the tone here is there's some suppressed feelings, a level of avoidance, some internal conflict, and then an eventual reconnection. That's kind of the sequence that I'm kind of feeling. So what stands out immediately to me is the amount of energy that's being held in this spread between, the both of you. We have the Moon, the Four of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, and essentially this feels like two people sitting in uncertainty or silence or emotional suppression instead of openly addressing what's actually being felt. So the Moon, as the current energy, that tells me a lot, right? The Moon talks about like confusion, uncertainty, hidden feelings, things left unsaid surrounding the connection. So some unspoken or unresolved emotions. And, it doesn't feel emotionally clear. It's almost kind of like I'm seeing like a fog that is starting to fade, but it's not clear yet, right? And that's what I'm feeling emotionally, or the energy between the both of you. So, with the crossing, we have the Four of Pentacles, and that right there just tells me, someone is holding back heavily, whether this is holding back emotions, holding back on communication, holding on to control, a sense of control, or possibly even holding on to the connection itself, but privately holding on to it, not expressing it outwardly. Ain't that interesting? So this tells me there's some emotional guardedness here, right? It's so much more than emotional absence. Is more no, I'm kind of guarded emotionally. That's kind of what I'm feeling. So what's interesting is the root of the situation. We have the Four of Wands, and underneath everything, this connection still appears to carry a sense of emotional stability, familiarity, and a strong significance. And for some of you, this may have even been a connection that felt very serious, very established, or something that at one point looked like it had long-term potential. So with the Emperor here, this reinforces that controlled energy again. So someone here appears, whether it's very prideful, or emotionally restrained, stubborn, or just trying to maintain, composure rather than vulnerability, right? So it's not giving vulnerability just yet. It's almost like I need to contain or control myself and hold back, right? So they could just be focusing on like other, priorities and things right now. And we have the Eight of Wands here, so this also tells me that, at one point there was fast communication before. There was like this intense momentum or, a sudden shift or change that, impacted the connection very quickly. And in the near future here with the Two of Swords, it's showing me that even though communication, the energy exists here, there's still some hesitation attached to this dynamic. And it almost kind of feels like someone is going back and forth mentally, like, should I reach out? Should I say something? Should I leave this alone? So there's avoidance here, but not emotional indifference. And, when I'm feeling into this, we have the Five of Swords, and that tells me, that this situation has created some mental exhaustion or overthinking or inner conflict or emotional frustration for someone. And it also feels like a connection where pride or miscommunication, intention, or ego may have interfered with the connection at some point. So externally, you have the Temperance here, and this is important because the Temperance almost like softens uh, the reading a bit, right? So this suggests healing and patience and, you know, recalibration and things slowly coming back into balance over time. So that's a good thing. That's a good sign, because remember, the Temperance is a major arcana card, so it's showing me something needed to be recalibrated. See, sometimes when we think that when we have distance in space, we think, oh, it's the worst thing in the world, and even though in a moment for some people it may be, but something's being recalibrated, and I want you to ask yourself, what's being recalibrated in my life right now or within me? Okay, so this doesn't feel permanently closed off. What I'm seeing with, you know, within the hopes and the fears with this Ten of Wands here is a connection that felt emotionally heavy, and someone may have felt burdened by the emotional weight of everything that was left unresolved here. And the Two of Cups being an outcome card, phenomenal, fabulous, because this is the clearest indicator for me of reconciliation, reconnection. And the Two of Cups points towards mutual energy, feeling connected, feeling on the same page. We're communicating, and, you know, there's an emotional exchange happening here between two people, whether that's forgiveness or calling it a truce or some seeing eye to eye, right? And so overall, yes, I do feel like there is going to be, you know, contact. It does feel delayed by, you know, emotional avoidance, like I said, and pride and overthinking and uncertainty at first. But, you know, there's something else that, you know, I do want to point out is I see you have 3 4s in this spread, and that's typically, you know, my sign for things involving like home stability, foundation, but really physical movement surrounding like a living situation. So for some of you, just keep in mind, not all of you, that this reconnection or communication may happen around some sort of move, whether it's a home or job related change or a shift in someone's physical environment. So overall, you know, what I'm seeing here is, again, emotional uncertainty, some suppression, some holding back, some unresolved attachment there, some hesitation, then healing, recalibration, and then reconnection. So that flow is very strong. So that's what I'm telling you kind of like the sequence of what I'm seeing, so that way you can know, okay, I'm at this stage or this happened, right? So as far as timing though, you have the numbers 2 and 4. So this can be within the next 2 to 4 days, weeks, months for contact. So within that time frame, remember, within 2 to 4. And nonetheless, I do see it happening. So if you feel called to book a personal reading with me or an intuitive mentorship, book your appointment, you know, when you do email me, just check the information in the description box below, and please just include your name, your month and day of birth, along with any questions you have when reaching out, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Stay blessed.